All right, we're live. Hey Insta, hey Facebook. We're going to be diving into body structure today, an exercise. I can't wait. But before we start, I want you to know that I just want you to go through a test to see if your body's aligned. Because when they did this with me, I was like, that's crazy. So the first one is, if you're watching this video, I don't know where you are, but if you stand up, just notice if your body moves slightly to one side or the other. And you could be able to tell by your feet. So if you close your eyes, see where you lean to or if you're completely stable. Now, most people will lean to a certain side, right? For me, I used to lean really far back on my right heel. Don't really know why, I just did. And what I realized is through optimizing my body structure, and I'll talk to you guys about this, how I suddenly started to realize that my hip was out of place, which is causing issues in my neck and all these other things. So let's dive into this. So if you imagine that our bodies need to be completely straight and horizontal aligned, but because we sit down so much in our days, it's very difficult for us to really optimize ourselves as humans. So I'll give you an example, right? My left shoulder used to not be very aligned. So check this. If you reach over your back, I hope you can still hear me. You should be able to go like this. Now, my guess is if you try this now, you can do it on one side, but I bet you can't do it as well on the other if you're in body pain. So try and grab it here, and then try and do it the other side. Because when I first started, it was like this. Now, it's much better. But it used to be really bad. Stretch myself a little bit there. So, why am I sharing this with you? Because I think it's important to understand where you are. If you're working out like I was, and if you look at any of my videos when I did my 6-month transformation, I lost 30 plus pounds. I really put myself in a great state. I looked fantastic, but I was still in body pain, and I really didn't understand why. So let's dive into this. So the first thing is when you go to the gym. So you want to stretch before and after the gym, but actually do stretches that bring your body into alignment. Because for a lot of people, I'm going to work my back today, I'll stretch my back, blah, blah, blah. You want to make sure that you put your body in and out of balance, like before and after the gym. So the guys that I use are Egoscue, and they have some fantastic exercises. But to put it really simply, the ones that I do is simply like a quad exercise. So you just hold your quad, and then you're going to stretch out your hips through like a pigeon pose or something like that, followed by one other exercise for your shoulders, and then an air bench. Air bench, I think, is fantastic just to bring your body there. So stretching before and after is a must. Next, yoga, right? Okay. People say stuff about yoga. I've done yoga before. I've done it here and there. I think yoga is the best thing ever. Like, honestly, yoga has been the missing piece for me that has moved my body to a completely different level now. I feel like I'm the strongest I've ever been purely from doing yoga. It's crazy. And I used to not be able to touch my toes. It was crazy. And now I feel so much more aligned through yoga. All I'm going to say is do yoga maybe 3 times in a week and just see how you feel. Because as you probably know, I experiment with everything that I do. If you do yoga, I'm telling you now, I think yoga is the best thing ever. I'm now doing yoga at least 3, but I'm pushing on 5 times a week. I've decided to cut out one of my gym days and instead do yoga for an hour. And I feel so much better. Because the other thing to notice is that if you always work out your body and you're constantly lifting weights, right, your muscles are getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And then what happens is you can look strong, but your body structure is changing. So you're actually not optimizing yourself for energy because you really want to have your energy at a really high level. All right, next is steps. So people talk about steps. How many steps do you in a day? Do you do 5,000? Do you do 6,000? Right? On average, I think in America they do 6,000 steps. And on average, most Americans are obese. Right? I've been there, I've seen it. Obviously, it depends on the states. But either way, I think they say 10,000. For myself, I like to go for 11,000. Why? Because I like to do a little bit more. And I think that I've found that to be so helpful. And honestly, Fitbits are great because they remind you to walk. But throughout your day, you want to make sure that you get up and move, because if you're always sitting down, right, your body's not meant for that. And you've got really tight hips and your shoulders are going to start to like curl in on themselves. It's not good for optimizing yourself. So you want to make sure that you're moving throughout the day, doing squats, stretching, whatever it is, so that you keep your body functional and moving. Because if you don't, you're just going to start to break down. And most people have it where they're they're like question marks, right? And I was like this as well. And now I'm still doing this, getting myself aligned so I'm this exclamation mark and nice and straight. So next, cardio. This is wicked. When I used to do cardio, I used to do it full out all the time, like powerful, let's go, either sprints or medium run. I'm not going to run slow. Right? Did you know, and this is crazy, did you know that elite athletes do 80 to 90% of their training in low intensity? That's a joke. Like, how crazy is that? They actually do it in low intensity. I had no idea. And the reason why is because if you do it in low intensity, you're not putting stress on your muscles, you're not building up acid in your system, and you're actually building up that sort of foundation so that when you do it, you can go even faster. So since that, when I do my cardio, I do most of it in low intensity. And I do biking, I do swimming, I do running. And it's been amazing. So for me now, I do cardio about 3 times a week. I go to the gym 3 times a week to like have a proper workout. And I'll let you know how I've changed my workout recently and how that's helping my structure. And then I do yoga like 5 times a week plus all my stretching. So I'm doing much more now for my body and I feel so much better as a result. Next is use a standing desk. So if you swap between sitting and standing desk, it's just going to help. This is funny. When I was in China, I had a desk where I couldn't quite put my keyboard there. So I was actually typing like this, and that actually wasn't good. It was like T-Rex arms. It's kind of like this. It's quite funny. But that's probably not very good, so make sure that that's horizontal. There we are. Horizontal, and then your eyes are looking at your screen. So next thing is for exercise and body structure, rebounding. For anyone who doesn't know what a rebounder is, it's basically a small trampoline. On that trampoline, you're going to bounce up and down, and it basically helps your lymphatic system, it clears you out, it's going to energize you. So I do this every morning, I sometimes do it in the evening. I'm not as consistent, but I do it every morning, and it does wonders for my energy. It really puts me in a great state. It's not putting pressure on your knees. It's really, really fantastic. Now, we're going to be moving on to the last thing, which is workouts. My workouts have changed radically over the past few months. And then when I look back at what I used to be doing, it's crazy. And I'll explain why. So I was doing a routine called the 5x5 workout. It's basically, you get really strong. So you do squats, you do bench press, like shoulder press, your deadlifts, and barbell row. So I was doing that, and I got really, really strong when I was in Shanghai last year. But then I had an issue, and I injured myself. And I could never really get back past that injury. And I was like, why am I injuring myself? I'm the strongest I've ever been. Why? And I realized it's because, actually, you know what it was? I injured myself once doing that, and then I turned and I injured my rib. I just turned. How stupid is that? I turned and I injured my rib. Like, how unfit could I be that I turn and injure myself? And I realized it's because I was training my body to just do simple things like this, just squat or this. And that was all the movement. There was no turning, there was no moving, there was no full body functional movements. I mean, yeah, you've got a deadlift, but ultimately I needed more movement in my day and in my workouts so that I could really optimize routine. So things that I've added: donkey kicks, ape walk, bear crawl, rope whips. I love rope whips. They're wicked. Another thing is using kettlebells. Kettlebells are fantastic. For those of you who don't use kettlebells in the gym, I really think you want to check them out. They're fantastic. Hi, Ty. I realize you're there. So make sure that you start using these different exercises. So you're actually using functional fitness as a human, as opposed to just, getting my curls strong, getting my chest strong. And I used to be someone that would just focus on their chest and their abs. Why? Because that's all you see. But then I had an issue that my shoulders turned in, and unfortunately my posture wasn't very good, and that caused a lot of pain. So yeah, it looks okay, but if you're in pain, you can hardly be energetic. So ultimately, when we look into this, what is most important, right? Get your yoga done, get your cardio, move in your day. Make sure that you have some sort of exercise that move you into some sort of body structure, right? And I think yoga is one of the best for that. And make sure when you do your exercises that you're not doing it loads and high intensity, because you're going to build up acid in your system. It's going to break down your body and cause inflammation and pain. Instead, you want to make sure that you're doing that low intensity on a consistent basis. So last thing, tomorrow, I'm going to be diving into diet. Diets, this is everything from, vegan, vegetarian, food, meat, combination theory, loads of stuff to optimize your energy. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll be doing it at the same time at 5 p.m. UK time tomorrow. I look forward to sharing some more insights with you. Comment if you've got any questions. And I look forward to chatting to you tomorrow and giving you other ways to optimize your energy. All right, ending these lives. That's one ended. And one more. Bye, Facebook.